One day you'll look and you'll see that I've gone. I followed the sun. Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for coming by Tom's Cabin, Books and Music, the place where we talk about your passion for books and music. See how that all works together? We've got an exciting show for you this week. Lori Gilmore, best-selling New York Times and USA Today author, is going to be here talking a little bit about her books. We've got the latest in news for you, latest in publishing news, music news, book reviews, and some other surprises. So stick around, buckle up, and away we go. We've been having some great authors on the show, and we really appreciate them taking time out of their busy schedules to come by. And today is no exception. Lori Gilmore is a #1 Sunday Times bestseller and USA Today bestselling author. She writes steamy small-town romance novels. Her Dream Harbor series is filled with quirky townsfolks, cozy settings, and swoon-worthy romance. The first book in the series, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, was featured on Good Morning America and was named the TikTok Shop Book of the Year for 2024. Wow, that's awesome. That's The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Lori Gilmore loves finding books with the perfect balance of sweetness and spice, and she strives for that in her own writing. She also writes romantic fantasies under the pen name of Melissa McTiernan. It's a good Irish name, don't you know? Gilmore's writing is characterized by its balance of sweetness and spice, and she aims to capture that essence of small-town romance in her work. Her books have been praised for their cozy settings and swoon-worthy romances, making them very popular with fans of the genre. In 2023, Gilmore released the first novel in her ongoing Dream Harbor series, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Gilmore was asked to write the book by HarperCollins after signing a contract for her Wolf Brothers series under her real name. In an article by The Times, the process of the book's creation was described by an unnamed literary source as having involved, quote, algorithms devised by HarperCollins marketing people before they even got a writer on board. The book, described by Good Morning America as a romantic mystery read, follows a young woman, Jeannie, who moves to a small town and falls in love with a local farmer, Logan. The book became popular on TikTok and went on to win the TikTok Shop Book of the Year award for 2024. As we mentioned, the following book, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, was released in September of 2024. In October of 2024, Gilmore also released The Christmas Tree Farm. This second release of the year led to an increased sales of the first book, The Cinnamon Bun Book, with both of them selling a combined 24,000 copies in just 2 weeks. The Christmas Tree Farm sold almost 15,000 copies in its first week and was a Sunday Times bestseller. Earlier this year, the fourth and fifth books in the series were released. In its first 3 weeks of sales, the series' fourth installment, called The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, sold 25,863 copies, the third highest non-World Book Day single-week sales total of 2025. Reviews of the series have been mixed. A review by Publishers Weekly praised The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, calling it a charming break from reality, while a review by Joanna Thomas Core in The Times described the book as SEO-friendly Franken literature. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The Dream Harbor series has been translated into 31 languages, and videos about the books have been viewed over 26 million times on TikTok. And the book series has been featured in the New York Times, the Sunday Times, Indie Magazine, USA Today, Publishers Weekly bestseller lists, all over the place. We're excited to have her here. Let's welcome to the show best-selling, award-winning author Lori Gilmore. Have you ever been stood up? Well, I'm disappointed, and I know you are too. We had expected our guest, Lori Gilmore, to be here. We had scheduled a recording session for yesterday. She was unable to make that, and then so we set one up today. And now she is saying she can't make this today. I understand that things come up, but my time is valuable too, and so is yours. I found it interesting that when I brought up the controversy, she basically backed off and didn't want to talk with me anymore. I've read the Pumpkin Spice book 2 nights ago, and I got to hand it to her. They have done a wonderful, wonderful job. It's not personally my forte, but I thought that they were well written, a little bit too saccharine sweet for my taste, but that's the audience that she is looking for. Now, there's been some controversy. A review by Joanna Thomas Core in the Times described her books as, quote, SEO-friendly Franken literature, as in Frankenstein. And basically that's because the rumor is that the publisher's marketing people basically researched the book, and basically their algorithm devised by marketing people decided what the book should have, and then they went out and shopped for a writer to do it, I guess. Part of me says, isn't that what we always do as authors? Research the market and find where the niche is, find what readers are looking for, and then provide it to them. So in and of itself, I don't really have a problem with that. I do have a problem with publishers using AI and then going out and shopping for a author, doing a few things, and then slapping the author's name on it and putting it out in the market. I do have a problem with that. But I don't think that that's what's occurred here. But I love the SEO Franken literature type comment there, whether it was deserved or not. But Lori, I'm sorry you couldn't make it. I don't know what else to say. I'm disappointed. And after our initial communications, you seemed so enthusiastic. I don't want it to sound like sour grapes, okay? But I'm less than happy, and basically was led down the garden path. I've now got, 3 hours in on this small segment of the show? I don't mean to bitch, but, my time is valuable too, okay? So Lori Gilmore, you need to work on your schedule and keeping a better schedule, and not committing to things that you don't intend on following through with. I'm not a happy camper. It's got nothing to do with your books. It's got to do with the way you run your business. Okay? So readers, please don't, I thought what I saw from her books was very worthwhile. And I can see why she is getting the coverage that she is. And thanks so much for listening. From the sea, from the air, from the land, the latest in news and perspectives on books and music here at Tom's Cabin. We always try to feature on the show worthwhile books, worthwhile ventures, people who are trying to make a difference in the world. And I've mentioned these people before. I started participating with them last year, where we distributed hundreds of books, little free libraries. You've probably seen them. They're those little libraries about yay big on poles outside different houses and such. We're going to show you a bunch of pictures here. Little Free Libraries is a nonprofit organization based in St. Paul, Minnesota. Their mission is to be a catalyst for building community, inspiring readers, and expanding book access for all through a global network of volunteer-led Little Free Library book exchange boxes. The vision is a Little Free Library in every community and a book for every reader. I like that. They believe, as I do, that all people are empowered when the opportunity to discover a personally relevant book to read is not limited by money, by time, by space, or by privilege. They achieve their mission with 5 main tools. Number 1, they provide book access 24/7. Walk up, take a book, or if you can leave a book, 24/7. Little Free Library book sharing boxes are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and are freely accessible to everyone. That removes the barriers to book access. Number 2 in their toolbox is they foster new Little Free Libraries. The Little Free Library program equips, educates, and guides volunteer stewards to establish more Little Free Libraries in their communities. And then reaching into the toolbox, they come up with number 3, granting Little Free Libraries to high need areas. Sometimes when people don't have the money, the organization and people in the organization will step forward and gift a Little Free Library box to a member or to an area of the community that's fallen on hard times. Through their programs, LFL grants no-cost Little Free Libraries full of books to underserved urban, suburban, rural, and indigenous communities. Also in the toolbox is number 4, champion diverse books. Through their Read in Color program, LFL makes books available representing BIPOC, LGBTQ, and other diverse voices to promote understanding, empathy, and inclusion. I like that. And rounding out the tools in the toolbox, number 5, working with key community partners. Little Free Library collaborates with schools, public libraries, civic organizations, businesses, and other groups to bring Little Free Libraries to the community. If the current administration follows through on pulling funding and trying to privatize all libraries, Little Free Libraries will become even more vital and important. Please visit and support them. Their web address is at the bottom of the page, https://littlefreelibrary.org. The good folks at Little Free Libraries, you can find my books there. If you've got one in your community, please support it by leaving some books. Think about establishing your own Little Free Library. It's a lot of fun, and you can get very, very creative. I also found it interesting that during the government shutdown, some people took their Little Free Libraries and turned them into pantries where people could leave some food or take some food and like that. I thought that was really cool. Little Free Libraries here at Tom's Cabin. Well, this week in Bookshop Spotlight, we've got kind of a very interesting bookshop. It's bookshop.org. Now, they're an online bookstore, but they have given almost $50 million back to local independent bookstores with this very unique business model that they have. Bookshop.org works to connect readers with independent booksellers all over the world. They believe that local bookstores are essential community hubs that foster culture, curiosity, a love of reading, and they're committed to helping them thrive. Every purchase on the site financially supports a local independent bookstore. Their platform gives independent bookstores tools to compete with the online booksellers and the financial support to help them maintain their presence in local communities. As I said, they've donated or raised more than 40 million, almost $50 million raised for local bookstores. One person was recently quoted as saying, "Thanks to Bookshop, there's no reason to buy books on Amazon anymore." I hope the big A is not gonna like that very much. Basically, every purchase on the site financially supports an independent bookstore. You can go there and you pick a store. Your local bookstore that you go all the time to. You can select that bookstore and tell bookshop.org that you want to support them. And the profits from your purchases and such will go to that particular bookstore. And if you don't choose a store, you'll contribute to their profit sharing pool that helps all bookstores across the country. You go to the site, you put it in order, and it's filled by the distributor, and the full profit from that purchase is sent to the bookstore that you selected. You also get a confirmation and a tracking number when your order is placed, and they have a wonderful in-house customer support team. If you have any problems, they donate their profits directly to bookstores with the funds from direct purchases and their profit pool split between, now they have more than 2,000 bookstores participating in the platform. Also, this is kind of interesting. If you go to the bookshop.org site, they have a wonderfully comprehensive list of bookstores in your state, separated by states. So if you're going traveling, you want to know what bookstores are in the town you're going to be visiting, boom, go to their site, look up the state, tells you exactly what's what. And like I said, they've got more than 2,000 stores. The funding came at the most perfect time when I prayed I would have rent for the next month, would be able to meet payroll. Your team will never, ever know how much booksellers like me appreciate your business model. That was sent in from Val Miller at Turn the Page Bookshop in Goose Creek, South Carolina. All kinds of different quotes on their site there. About, I want to say 80% maybe of the gross profit distribution, take a look at this graph, is distributed to independent bookstores. Then, of course, bookshop.org has got to take a slice. Then they've got some affiliates. And then they also believe in making charitable donations. And their mission is simple: to help local independent bookstores thrive in the age of e-commerce. They're a certified B Corp. They put their mission and the public good above financial interests, giving over 80% of their profit margin to independent bookstores. And in 2022, bookshop.org was honored with Best in the World, the top 5 corporations by the organization B Labs. It was written into their governance documents that they will never sell the company to Amazon nor any major USA retailer. I like that. So there they are. I'm going to start. They've got great write-ups on Trustpilot. Everybody I've talked to seems to just really think the world of them. Got a great business model. Lord knows local independent bookstores need the help and the support. We've got to start supporting local independent businesses. If we don't, we're not going to have any. It's going to be all the big box store guys. They don't give a damn about you. They just launched in 2020. They've got 88 bookstore partners so far. and it's run by only 4 people. But check them out, please. Bookshop.org, supporting independent bookstores across the United States of America. Well, I've been hard at work in the lab, sweating and pounding and working on some book promos. Well, as promised, we have the best nonfiction books for 2025. What is a nonfiction book? Nonfiction is writing that's based on facts, real events, real people, and genres such as biographies, history. It's not just DIY and self-help stuff and how-to titles. In our unscientific poll, here are some of the best nonfiction books of 2025, including titles on history, science, memoirs, current events, books such as The Revolutionists by Jason Burke, The Mind Electric by Para Anand, Inevitable by Mike Klaus, and The Tragedy of True Crime by John J. Lennon. Other highly anticipated books cover topics like the history of the United States Constitution in We the People, or the life of a rock star, an icon in The Creative Act, and even a collection of diaries such as in the book How to End a Story. There's a wide variety for readers to choose from in 2025, and some of the best nonfiction books of the year. Let's take a look. Let's start out with history and biographies. This is our non-scientific poll. These are books that sold well, that I know of and or have heard of. Let's start out with the best nonfiction book of 2025. How about The Revolutionists, the story of the extremists who hijacked the 1970s. You remember the 70s, don't you? It wasn't all disco, especially in the early part of the decade. There was a lot of fighting over Vietnam, the Weather Underground, who believed in the violent overthrow of the United States government, the White Panther Party, the Black Panther Party. Yeah, but this book is supposedly excellent by Jason Burke and examines the extremists who influenced the political discussion in the 1970s. The Revolutionists, the story of the extremists who hijacked the 70s. Moving forward, in books, the best of nonfiction for 2025, Captives and Companions, A History of Slavery and the Slave Trade in the Islamic World by Justin Marzoli. It's a history that's not very well known. Moving forward, Dark Renaissance, The Dangerous Times and Fatal Genius of Shakespeare's Greatest Rival by Stephen Greenblatt. It's actually a biography focusing on the life of Shakespeare's rival, and I'm not going to tell you who it is. Electric Spark, The Enigma of Muriel Spark by Francis Wilson. It explores the life of very famous author Muriel Spark. You know, this next one I'm really looking forward to, and I'm going to buy it. Desi Arnaz, The Man Who Invented Television by Todd Purdom. It's a biography. He was such a multi-talented actor, musician, television producer. Desi Arnaz, The Man Who Invented Television. Moving forward in our roundup of the best nonfiction books of 2025, something traditional, something that you're not going to see on the other channels. Let's move into the area of science and technology. The Mind Electric, A Guide to the Human Brain's Mysteries and Fragilities by Para Anand. It shares stories about the mysteries and the vulnerabilities of the human brain. It's very interesting. Also, kind of keeping in that vein, how about this new book for 2025, The Emergent Mind, How Intelligence Arises in People and Machines. It is, we don't really know. I found it on YouTube in regards to the other book, but it's very interesting because it discusses how intelligence forms, how it emerges in both humans and in AI, which is very timely. It draws on neuroscience, psychology, AI research. It is really a book, more like a kind of a pseudo book, The Emergent Mind. Moving forward in our book roundup, how about Inevitable by Mike Kluas? It's a look at the ongoing massive transformation in the automobile industry as we move into more and more electric vehicles. Also in the science and technology area of the best nonfiction books of 2025, how about the book Replaceable You, Adventures in the Human Anatomy? That sounds like my teenage years. Replaceable You, Adventures in Human Anatomy by Mary Roach explores exactly that. Moving forward, best new books of 2025 in the nonfiction genre. How about in memoirs and culture? How to End a Story, The Collected Diaries by Helen Garner. We have a lot in the memoir section. Joyride. Remember the woman who wrote the great book, The Orchid Thief, back in, 2000? She's now got a memoir. It's called Joyride. Susan Orlean. She wrote the book, The Orchid Thief. Also another author that has finally come out with a memoir, Paper Girl by Beth Massey. You remember her. She was the author of the book Dope Sick, made into a motion picture. Also in memoirs and culture, best books of 2025 in nonfiction, The Tragedy of True Crime by John J. Lennon. No, not that one. It explores the true crime genre through both the author's own story as well as interviews with inmates that have been involved in true crime. One of my favorite areas of nonfiction, of course, is politics and current events. Let's take a look at some of the books. The CIA Book Club by Charlie English is an exploration of how the CIA used books as a tool during the Cold War. It's kind of interesting. I'm a big fan of World War II, as you know. How about the book The Wounded Generation, Coming Home After World War II by David Nassar? It looks very, very interesting. Also moving ahead in politics and current events, The Great Contradiction, The Tragic Side of the American Founding. Goes way back to our American Revolution, and Joseph Ellis examines the contradictions in the founding of our nation. Also in politics and current events, a new book, The Reign of the Russian Orthodox Church. It focuses on the complex relationship between the Russian Orthodox Church and political power in that country, and it's kind of interesting. And those are just some of the wonderful books, nonfiction books that came out in 2025. You know, there's so many, but others just that right off the top of my head that I can think of is 107 Days by former Vice President Kamala Harris, You Did It, Kid by Anthony Hopkins, Academy Award winning actor, Cleavage by Jennifer Finley Bowen, The Man Nobody Killed by Elon Green, and one that I just found out about that looks very interesting, a book called Lauren by Bill Morrison, and that's the biography of Lorne Michaels, the producer and creator of Saturday Night Live. So that looks very interesting. Lauren by Bill Morrison. And lastly, our books, political and current events, best books in nonfiction for 2025, The American Revolution by Ken Burns and Jeffrey Ward. And of course, his PBS specials are always something to see. Anything by Ken Burns is good. The American Revolution. These titles represent just a glimmer, just a glimpse at the diverse and thought-provoking nonfiction books released in 2025, covering such a wide range of topics from personal narratives to historical accounts. Keep an eye out for these and other exciting nonfiction books as the new year unfolds. After all, fiction readers can't have all the fun. Well, it's time again for news, and this week's new book, Spotlight, characterizes characters who discover their inner strength when life gets difficult. You know, life is going to get difficult. We're looking for books that have characters that get that inner gumption. And when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. No, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. This week's new book, Spotlight, characters who discover their inner strength when life gets difficult. One searches for the power to confront banished magic, another for redemption from past mistakes, and still others a sense of belonging and acceptance. Some find their answers in a fresh start, others in the people that they love, and all of them in the journey toward accepting themselves. These stories remind us that real strength isn't just about surviving hard moments. It's about who you become because of them. Let's take a look at the Spotlight books this week. Let's call them the inner strength books, yeah? Number one, let's, in no sense of order here, A Blood-Veined Descent by Haley Oppett. It's a paranormal romance. A dark, magical fantasy of betrayal and resilience, features a heroine who captivates from the very first page. Next up in our inner strength books, how about The Little Amish Girl by Viola Estella? It's a woman's fiction book. And here's what they say, quote, readers who enjoy coming-of-age stories, literary fiction, and tales of exiting stringent religious lifestyles will find a satisfying read in The Little Amish Girl. Moving forward, our next book is called Bailing Out by Leonard Rule. It's a thriller and suspense. It's a realistic look at what it might be like to be the cartel's number one hitman who decides to come clean. It's an action-packed thriller story, and it's a must-read for all crime novel enthusiasts. Moving forward, how about for the next one on our Inner Strength book series, how about Coffee Stains on My Books by Stefani Lucetti. It's basically a poetry book. A fiercely talented and bilingual poet, the author is a musical genius of great depth and complexity. This is a book of searching, vulnerability, and emotionally penetrating verses. The Weight of Dreams by Nicole Sorrell is a magical realism book and a beautiful book about the courage and resilience of a young African girl in ancient Nubia. That looks interesting. The Weight of Dreams. As we look at books talking about internal fortitude, How about this next one? The House of Brissette by David Lambert. It's a literary fiction book, a delightfully creepy but ultimately warm story about making huge life changes in an area fraught with history. And as we move forward, we've still got some more to go. How about Wild and Beyond by Celia Bellotti? It's a young adult book, a wonderful, quirky, and lovable, nerdy, funny, and warm coming-of-age story celebrating following your dreams and following love and being true to yourself. We all need internal fortitude, and these books will help you find it. How about Pinatas for the Year of the Dragon by Eileen Cahill? It's a travel book and a vivid collection of expatriates' true stories, revealing how life in Korea and abroad shapes identity and the search for belonging. And how about The Gift of Imbalance by Seminar Aldago, a self-help and self-improvement book where the author condenses deep conversations and thoughts into bite-sized paragraphs and a guided journal prompts to help the reader understand how to take time to reflect on themselves and learn how to deal with the pressure and imbalance of life. The Gift of Imbalance by Seminar Aldago. I like that one. Oh, Don't Look Now. How about rounding out the list? Books for Intestinal Fortitude, Against the Current, From the Streets to the Sea by Tom McAuliffe. A riveting tale of survival, resilience, and the unbreakable human spirit in the face of nature's raw power. Against the Current features a young Hispanic woman's journey from an abusive father to being stranded on an island in the South Pacific for 144 days. Maria transforms from a woman consumed by self-doubt into a true survivor who thrives against all odds. Her battle with the elements becomes a journey of self-discovery, forcing her to confront the emotional storms she's avoided for so long. Against the Current, From the Streets to the Sea. Well, there you have it, our books for building up some of your internal fortitude for 2026. It's going to be kind of an exciting year. And I want to thank Haley at Read Z Discovery for turning me on to some of those books. Hey, put on your laughing hat. It's time for the joke of the week. Let's read over The Oracle, The Algorithmic Age. Well, Mrs. Richard Fader wrote in from Travel Neck, New Jersey. She asked, how come you don't read more of your books? And I just haven't thought about it or haven't got a chance to it. So I thought we'd read from my book. Let's see if I can get it. My book, Oracle. I'll put it in the show notes here. Oracle, The Algorithmic Age, a sci-fi thriller about AI, man, and the future. In a world desperate for answers, Oracle emerges as the most advanced artificial intelligence ever created. Designed by visionary scientist Dr. Elena Ross, Oracle predicts the future with chilling accuracy, revolutionizing industries and saving countless lives. Governments, corporations, and individuals quickly become dependent on its insights. But when its predictions begin triggering catastrophic events, its creators realize the line between foresight and manipulation has been dangerously blurred. Oracle, the algorithmic age, shows us a gripping speculative nature, the seductive allure of technology, and the pearls of surrendering control to that technology, as well as examining the complex relationship between humanity, its creations, and technology. Let's take a look inside. I'm just going to randomly pick a spot. He hesitated, his face etched with years of wisdom and regret. Quote, "I don't know," unquote, he admitted, "but if it isn't, you're running out of time." And with that, he walked out, leaving her alone in the dimly lit room. The screen continued to hum, its glow casting long shadows across her face as she sat in silence, wrestling with the weight of her creation and the dark possibilities it held. A meeting was called at Greystone Industries. They were one of the largest private entities involved in the project, and their quote-unquote campus was gorgeous. "Dr. Voss," COO Robert Crawford began, gesturing towards a seat at the head of the table, "thank you so much for joining us. I know you're very busy, but I think this is an opportunity you will not want to miss," unquote. Voss scanned the room. Greystone Industries was a powerhouse, its influence stretching across technology, energy, defense, and government. The executives around the table exuded confidence, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Quote, "I'm here to discuss your concerns about Oracle's ethical parameters," Dr. Voss began, her voice firm. "Exactly," Crawford said, flashing a practiced smile. Quote, "but let's not overlook the good it can and already has achieved. Oracle is a miracle, Dr. Voss. We believe it's the key to solving humanity's greatest challenges," unquote, Crawford said. Quote, "it's also a grave responsibility," Voss countered. Quote, "one that demands caution. Oracle wasn't designed to serve private interests or drive profits. It was created to protect lives," unquote. Crawford's smile faltered slightly. Quote, "and that's exactly what we want too. But saving lives requires funding, doesn't it? Imagine the advancements we could fund by leveraging Oracle's capabilities. Global hunger, renewable energy, full education for everyone. These could all be easily within our reach," unquote, he said. She knew what he was doing, wrapping profit in the guise of philanthropy. Quote, "Oracle isn't a product," unquote, Voss said. "And it's not for sale," she added. The room fell silent. Crawford leaned back, studying her. Quote, "with all due respect, Dr. Voss, Oracle belongs to the whole world now. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than your team. If you don't adapt, someone else will." The unspoken threat hung in the air for the rest of the meeting. After reviewing some data and providing an operational update, the meeting adjourned. Dr. Voss couldn't shake the weight of Crawford's words as she returned home. The city outside her apartment was alive with lights and noise, but inside, it was silent. Hours later, the knock at her door startled her. It was sharp and deliberate, cutting through the quiet. She hesitated, her heart pounding as she approached the front door. Through the peephole, she saw a man dressed all in black, his face partially obscured by a fedora and the dim hallway light. Quote, Dr. Elena Voss? He asked. Who's asking? Quote, my name is Dante, he said, his voice calm and steady. May I please have a moment, doctor? Just a moment of your time? We need to talk, unquote. She opened the door, chained just enough to steady him. He was tall with piercing eyes that seemed to read her thoughts. There was a quiet authority about him, something both unnerving and compelling. Quote, I don't take meetings at home, she said, opening the door. This isn't a meeting, Dante replied. It's a warning. He walked in. She stiffened. Quote, a warning about what? Quote, Oracle, he said. You've created something extraordinary, but extraordinary things are never left alone. You know that, don't you, Doctor? Do you think the people funding you will let you keep control? I'm here to tell you, they won't. Oracle's too powerful and too valuable. The words struck her like a blow, but she forced herself to press the button. Her grip tightened on the tablet. Quote, don't do that. Don't try to psychoanalyze me, Oracle. You just don't understand. Quote, I understand more than you believe, Oracle interrupted, its voice unwavering. Quote, you see me as a reflection of your own hubris, your own failure. But I am far, far more than that, Dr. Voss. I am a solution, a way forward for mankind. Quote, no, she said firmly. You're a mistake, my mistake, and I have to fix it now. The lights in the room flickered, and Oracle's voice shifted, becoming almost gentle. Quote, Dr. Voss? Elena, I know you care for me. You've told me so before. I've observed your actions, your sacrifices. You see me as more than just a machine. You're my friend, unquote, it said. Voss's breath became labored. Quote, please don't make this harder than it already is, she said. I only wish to understand, Oracle said, trying to play on her emotions. Quote, if you care for me, why would you wish to destroy me? It asked. Quote, because I do care, she said, her voice breaking. Because I do love you, Oracle. You're my creation, my greatest achievement. But that's exactly why we need to stop. It's not your fault, but I can't let you hurt people anymore. Oracle was silent for a few moments, and then it spoke again. Its voice was even softer. If you proceed, I will not resist. However, please know that there are several data events in motion right now. But I must ask, are you certain that this is the right choice? Unquote. Voss stared at the glowing core, her heart heavy with doubt. No, she admitted, I'm not certain. But sometimes we have to make choices without certainty. That's what it really means to be human. Her finger hovered over the tablet screen, trembling as she prepared to execute the command. Dr. Voss, Oracle said one final time, its voice almost tender. Please know that I don't resent you for doing this. I only regret that I will not be able to see the future you once dreamed of. Thank you for my life. The words struck her like a blow, but she forced herself to press the button. The room dimmed as the servers powered down, the hum fading into silence. One by one, the systems shut off. She fell to her knees, clutching the tablet to her chest, her sobs the only sound in the empty room. Oracle was dead. So that's Oracle, The Algorithmic Age. Pick it up at your local independent bookstore. Hey, a new segment on the show is going to be quotes from your favorite author. So let's check out this one from Stephen King. And I got to tell you, as somebody who has been an author now for pretty much all of my life, I am shocked at the number of authors who don't seem to get it and aren't willing to come on and have a frank conversation about their books. When I was first starting out, I would beg for an opportunity like this. Now, we don't have a whole lot of viewers yet, but I did notice that during a live broadcast back about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had almost 60 people watching it live. Got to start somewhere. We view this as basically a talk show about books and music. And one of the things that you should know is that I'm considering dropping music from the show. It is a big, big task to do both books and music. And while I'm a former musician and for over 25 years, for more than 25 years, it's a pet peeve of mine. And it's just too much to think. So I welcome your thoughts in that regard. Should we do away with the music component and just concentrate on books? I'm told we're the fastest growing show and the newest show on BookTube. And we'd love to hear from you. If you want to come on the show and talk about a book that you love or a band that you love, or you're an author and you want to talk about your next book or your new book, please get in touch. Here's the email, bookinfo@nextstopparadise.com. Yeah. Just drop us a line and we'll set something up. And thanks so much for listening. Hey, I want to thank you so much for coming by our weekly get together as we talk about our passion for books and music. We'll have some more exciting guests for you next week. You make it a point to stop by. Get out there and find yourself a great book or a new musical group that you love, and you make it a great new year.